So, have you guys come up with a final plan?
Nope.
Not
We're
yet.
supposed to do that.
Whoops.
Wow. I think we're closing in on one.
Sure.
I didn't realize you gave
We're
homework.
all gonna die. We're all gonna die. Help! Help! Oh no, that's my plan.
So-
Sigismund, while they're like talking in the building about what they're gonna do you go back inside, or do you do something with your horse, or what are you doing right now?
I'll take the horse inside.
Okay. There's room. There's
What
enough.
exactly are we trying to plan here?
To get our food back.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're
And you
going
kill
to kill
Magnus.
those people now.
Well, after a rest.
Yes, but of course after a fucking rest.
So, I think the plan so far is invisibility on our grapple guy, who will then try
Grapple
to
gal.
grapple person, hen.
Yeah.
Who will then try to lock the doors to wherever the undead are in, and then grapple the guy, and we have to get a timing to then swarm that camp and try to burst down the warlock. No?
So lock the building with the undead, and then attack via grappling and going after the warlock. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I've gathered so far. I mean, if anyone has,
Sounds good.
another better idea.
Oh, and I'll pull forth some wolves as well before we get there. Wait, hold on, let me see.
I'll try to sneak as close as I can with the horse near the buildings, so I can just burst forth and get there within a round and try to do whatever I do.
So you're saying I am going to be the bait?
No, I don't think you should be a bait. I think I want to
Who's
get.
going to walk up there with me?
I'm gonna get the dime on these guys before you get there.
Yeah,
That's
You're
what-
kind of. I
that's
think
what
you're
I'm
bringing
saying.
in the rear.
Okay, that's fine with me, but I go really slow when I'm in the rear. No, I'm not trying to make anything funny. I'm going, I got a movement of a 25, damn it. So I am a slower ass motherfucker.
I don't know. In
For
my
sure.
experience, you've been pretty slow in the rear. Pretty fast, rather.
Oh wow, throwing shade.
Is there any
Yeah,
other like special tactic we need to do? Sorry, go ahead.
I was
Yeah,
trying to get Sorey back.
Maybe a backup plan.
Yeah, is there any other tactic we should be using too, besides just letting Mark's character go in?
Our backup plan will be to murder them all with
I'm
prejudice.
gonna sneak up behind them probably.
I'm gonna try and sneak with Mark.
If you want me to do.
Okay.
And I think that you with the fire or the firestorm and the fireball needs to hit as quickly as possible.
So I'll stand with Sorey, or near Sorey in the back then, from arranged.
I think that might be a good idea. I mean, you could always close. You have the bow and tow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if locking the undead in does not work, they break the door, they break the lock, whatever happens. I'm fairly well equipped to deal with them if they're large in number, but not, big and scary. But
I have
break off?
I have caltrops. You should throw those in front of the door too, in case they break through.
Oh, it's a good idea.
That's like pathetic damage, but maybe it'll, bleed them by paper cuts.
Yeah,
Yeah, everything helps.
Potentially
Oh my God, if
slows down
someone
their
dies by
right?
paper cuts, I'm going to be so delighted.
And don't forget though, I mean that's the poor man's spike growth though,
It slows down their movement, right?
So if they break out, should I or should I not disengage from the warlock?
No. Warlock
okay.
dead.
Okay. Warlock dead. Got it.
Warlock is primary target. Plus, we don't even know what that invisible person is.
Oh, yeah.
Does anyone have like
Sigismund can
some
see him.
spell?
I can see him, and I have an ability that might actually break him out of stealth. Branding smite.
Okay,
Real quick,
so-
though, do we have to be worried about being within a certain distance of oh god, Mark, what's your character's Thalia?
Mm-hmm.
If we're putting silence on her, do we have to be?
You've got to. If anybody's within 20 feet of him, if the spell requires verbal components, they're not going to get it off.
Okay, so that's something to be mindful of, Siggy, right?
Oh, so I have to stay out of that 20 feet area then.
In order to not be silent, if you need to not be silent.
If your
All
spell is
right.
verbal component.
Oh, I think most of them have verbal components.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. I mean, it's a good thing in the back, and I cannot get rid of silence once it's up.
And you can avoid the damage from a fireball, but the firestorm will probably do damage to you if you're in the camp.
Yeah, that's that we'll just have to take that. If
Firestorm does damage to just everyone that's in the storm, right?
And everything.
Everyone and everything. And what's the range or the affected range on that?
It's pretty big.
150 feet is the distance. It's 10 10-foot cubes.
10 10-foot cubes.
Yeah.
They have to be adjacent to each other.
Right.
I mean, should we just not go in there at first, or are you gonna
It's
like give us a heads up if we do
it's
it
like
or something?
artillery.
Or so.
I think
depends
we
on the
need to
initiative order.
hit at the same time, because me trying to catch up with y'all and y'all are fighting, I'm not going to be there in time to be able to heal y'all. And if you go down and die, I can't bring you back.
Okay.
So the people that go in should probably have a healing potion or something.
And yeah, I mean, can't you just kind of walk up fairly close, pretending like, hello?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. But y'all
Yeah.
keep talking about y'all are going to attack before I can do that.
Well, I mean, maybe you could like give us a verbal cue, like when you
I
say.
think walking up by myself, going, "Oh my God, everyone died."
Because the T-Rex.
That works, but because I'm not going to be walking. Everybody else seems to be hidden or everything like that. I'm going to be walking up there by myself.
I can come with you.
That works.
Yeah, the only ones that said they're hidden so far, I thought were.
I mean,
Sorry,
I could.
I am of no use if they see me.
Yeah, and you're gonna be trying to lock down the building, right?
Yes.
Based on
So-
building lockdown.
The people that are going in, I have 6 minor healing potions and 1 superior healing potion in the loot bag. I think you guys should take some of those in case you get nailed.
You might as well shake one.
Some healing potions? I
Yeah,
don't have
I'll
potions.
take a healing potion.
I mean, just in case.
So who's
I'll
taking
take
them?
two.
Can I have one?
Yeah. So 2d4 plus these are minor healing potions. How many people want them? I'll just subtract them from the loot bag. You guys add them to your.
How many are there?
There's 6 minor and 1 superior.
I just want one.
I already have one.
The miner does what?
2d4 plus 2.
Oh wait, I already have 2 minor healing potions. Never mind.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll
who's-
take a minor healing potion.
Okay, you got it.
Who has the
I'll take 2 if I can. I don't have.
Take them. Take them.
who has the least amount of hit points besides Sorey? Who's the other 2 people?
I have 58.
It's probably.
I have 78.
Who's got 78?
You have 78.
Wuce, yeah.
What the
How the
fuck?
hell do you have 78?
Whoa, okay.
You have 7. What?
Yeah, that doesn't
There's-
sound right.
There's let me check. Double check.
Did you say you said 7d8, right?
Yeah.
Not 78.
No, 78. 78. Yeah.
That's way too high.
That sounds really, really not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
What's your con bonus?
My con bonus is 3. So right there, that's 21, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I have 2d8 and 5, or 2d10 and 5d8.
But
What would be 2d10?
those aren't max. They're either the medium or you rolled for them.
Yeah, they're not maxed, right?
No, that is maxed. You've maxed out all your hit points.
In that case, I also have a lot of hit points.
You don't get your max hit point every time you level. You either get half or roll.
No, one above half.
Yeah, one above. Yeah. That's just some of the random NPCs I've created that are level 10 or above don't have 78 hit points.
You should be somewhere around 58 or above. That's your mean.
Like
right
a rogue is a D8, right?
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
ranger is
rogue.
d10.
So you would either get 5 plus your con bonus on level up or roll for it. And ranger is also a D10, so you would either get 6 plus your con bonus or you'd roll for it plus your con bonus. It's not like 8 plus your con bonus. 10
So
plus
if
your
you
con
took
bonus.
everything at half, if you did everything at half, and you first level's maxed out, you should have 61 hit points.
If I did everything at half, and then what was the other part? Sorry.
Yeah, first level you get max hit points.
He has 5 rogue and 2 ranger levels.
Right.
Yeah.
So 61 would be the middle.
That's if you didn't roll. If you did not roll for hit points. And trust me, you don't want to roll because you can get a 1.
And 61 is still more than everyone else, pretty much.
Yeah, I have 65, and I'm supposed to tank the damage.
Yeah.
I have 51.
Wait, okay, sorry, yeah.
Plus three con bonus is pretty good.
Yeah, that's what gave you a lot of hit points.
Yeah.
So just put it at 61, you're saying?
78 is wrong. Yeah. 61 if you want to take the medium for all your levels, or you can roll for them if you want to. Potentially getting more or potentially getting less. So you would have 11.
You start off at 8 at first level, and then decide after that if you want to roll or.
You would start with 11 because you get the max at first level, so you get 8 plus 3 con bonus. Then every level after that, if you want to roll for them, you can, or you can take the medium. The medium plus 1.
Sorey, Sigismund, and whoever has the next lowest hit points, all get 10 temporary hit points.
It's
that
probably
last for the
it's probably
next 8 hours.
Probably Fae.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have no fucking hit point.
Fae is 44.
Okay, so the 3 of you get 10 extra hit points for the next 8 hours.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Oh shit, I gotta write that down.
So are you gonna take the medium, Wuce, or do you want to roll for him?
Hold on, give me a second. I'm doing the math real quick.
Sure. Oh, did you guys just hear the dino roar?
Yeah.
That actually happened.
See, my thing now is that you've been letting me burn an inspiration when I had it to reroll my hit dice, so there's no way to calculate how many of those I've used. So
you haven't been rolling your hit dice. You've been giving yourself the maximum hit dice.
well, when I did level up, I've been rolling the hit die. I don't know why that number is different.
So you have been rolling for your hit points.
I thought I had, but I mean, obviously that's not the total because
Okay,
that's max. It's not right.
Calculator. So you have 5 rogue levels. If you max those rogue levels every time, be 11 times 5 is 55.
3 points under.
And then you have 2 ranger levels, which is a D10. So plus 13 is 81. And you say you have 78?
I don't remember. It's something, but I already changed it to 61. But it was high 70s, yeah.
Okay, I mean, I just don't know if you've been rolling for it, so I have never. I haven't monitored your guys' level ups.
I've been burning the inspiration reroll.
Yeah, in our games in the past, you've been able to burn an inspiration to re-roll your hit dice, but I haven't seen you do that any of these times. So.
Okay, I'll just. I mean.
If it's 78, it's 78. If you've been rolling for it, that's
no. If you guys want me to adjust it, I can adjust it as well.
It's very high.
I'll just do. I'll do 61.
You're three hit points off of getting the max rolls every time, basically.
Well, how about this? I'll just do 61, but can I get back like some inspirations in? If that's I mean.
If you say you've been rolling, I'll trust you for that.
Okay, well, whatever works with the group, let's just do that. I don't want to.
Yeah. I'll trust you if you say you roll for him. I'll trust you.
Yeah, I just haven't.
I don't have any inspiration.
I haven't monitored those levels, and I don't think that's something that some of the other players knew you could even do. But. Yeah, if you've been rolling for it and you just
if that's true, are you guys not doing that?
No,
never heard of it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just something we've done in our games in the past, which I haven't brought up really in this game.
Well, then I mean, if that
don't worry about it. It's just that we were shocked when we heard it, but now that we know the explanation,
yeah,
it's okay.
I'm fine if you have 78 hit points, and who's been rolling and who's been taking the medium?
I've been rolling.
Took the medium.
Medium rolling.
So Thalia, you've been rolling.
Yes.
Riceak, you've been rolling.
Yeah.
I have to.
Faye, you've been rolling.
Yes.
The rest of you have been taking the rest of you have just been taking the medium.
I've been rolling.
Yep.
So everyone else, just take 1 maximum hit dice.
But like in addition?
Not in addition, like
Re-roll one more time?
No, don't roll one more time. Remove the medium amount of hit points from your character and add the maximum amount of hit points for your character for 1 level.
So
so the difference between the two.
Yeah, the difference basically. Let's say the difference plus 1.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So like half of the hit die plus 1 is what you're saying.
You're saying math things.
So Faye, you have, instead of 44 right now,
Yes.
you have 47.
Okay.
And you know what? Let's just do it for 2 levels. So 51. You have 51. So everyone basically add the difference between the medium and the max plus 1 each for your hit points.
I'm less likely to die now, you guys.
2 times.
That's just for the guys who rolled, right?
Nope, everyone.
Oh, shit.
Can I ask another question then?
Sure.
So you can't burn inspiration if you just take the median, You can only burn it if you roll.
Correct. Which is
Yes.
not a rule I had been using in this game. But I didn't make that. I didn't mention it because you're the only one who's experienced that.
Okay.
From now on, when you level up, if you want to roll your hit dice, you can burn an inspiration to re-roll it.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So everybody should be a little bit beefier now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Wuce,
So
you're fine keeping your 78.
Okay, thanks.
So just as I understand it right, we do that 2 times.
Two times, yeah. So
All right.
if you're a fighter, is a D10 or a D12? D10.
D10.
So you would get 4.
You get 8 points.
8 points plus 1.
Plus 1. All right.
Yeah. So 10. You'd get 10 more HP.
All right. So yeah.
Does everyone feel comfortable with the
Well,
results?
now this is going to be easy. Just walk in there.
Yeah, that's
No
gonna
need for
be
plan.
Oh,
has
just
to be
you
a
wait,
hard
he's
encounter.
He's gonna up the difficulty after this. We're all gonna die again.
No, I'm
Yeah,
just,
Ryan's gonna add lair abilities now.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking horrible.
That's
We're all gonna die.
Well,
That's spirit.
I've already set the combat map. I'm not going to adjust it. I've already set the combat map for the upcoming encounter here, but it's
Yeah, but you have like a bottomless
They wouldn't
minions
happen
thing.
to have like a trident lying around in that.
lying around in where?
You know, somewhere near that camp where I was,
I don't know. You'll have to make an investigation check if you end up killing
I
them.
fucking will. I absolutely will.
Did you guys find some like potent poison last time?
There's poison right in the
Instant poison?
Evelyn did, but she hasn't mentioned it.
Oh, that's not the instant poison stuff?
Sorry, Evelyn.
Thanks.
Hey, Wuce, check the loot bag. There's a bunch of that herbs and flowers and things that you picked that have all sorts of abilities.
Is that instant poison accessible too, or is that the stuff you're talking about? With
Evelyn, Evelyn found a jar of poisonous, very potent poisonous flowers, but she hasn't mentioned it to anyone.
But that's not the instant potion and the...
No,
sorry.
Right now, Wuce, you have 2 doses of basilisk breath, which is slow paralyzing poison, and cactus juice, which modifies poison's target.
And I gotta pee, so I'll be right back.
Well, I'm looking down at the ox at the bottom. It says ox, right?
Yeah.
Second from the last thing says insta poison. Is that what he's talking about that Evelyn has, or is that the groups?
I have no idea what the jar I have does.
Okay, so this insta poison.
No, take it.
Probably something else.
Take it.
Yeah, maybe I should coat my weapons and that stuff.
Yes, you should.
All right, I'm gonna eliminate it from the loot bag.
Hold on, I'll just move it up to me. Or can you move it up to me, I guess?
Yeah.
Thanks.
That axe of wounding was a great axe, wasn't it?
What'd you say?
The axe of wounding was a great axe, wasn't it?
A great axe or a great axe?
So you are all mostly gathered in this
Was that from...
small ruined building next to one of the 9 shrines in Omu. You've been discussing for a time a plan of action to take down this camp of other travelers that are also searching for the puzzle keys to open the Shrine of the 9 Gods, who have apparently stolen 2 of your own cubes that you've worked pretty hard to obtain.
Hey, Garn. Was that X from like how many sessions ago was that X from?
It's been a while. I mean, we haven't sold it or anything, but if it's a great axe, I can't use it. That's the reason why I was asking.
What's that?
Yeah, I don't remember.
What's the axe?
Axe of Wounding.
Oh,
I believe it was a great axe.
I think so too.
Oh yeah, it says that. Never mind. I didn't see.
I just updated it.
It came
Gotcha.
from a demon you fought in the jungles that was raising and commanding a bunch of undead. If I remember correctly.
That's cool.
He was like spawning little other mini demons out of his body.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember that now.
We also have holy water. Does someone need those if they're going to be near the undead?
If y'all want me to, I can hopefully handle the undead.
Okay.
But
It's always
that
You said you could handle the undead too.
when you say that the things that we were fighting, you said they were ghouls, right? The ones
The
that we
gnolls.
fought before?
They were undead. I don't know that they were necessarily ghouls, but they were undead.
But you said that we had fought them before.
Yeah, they're undead gnolls. It seems like wherever Magnus goes, there's a wake of undead gnolls following closely behind.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So would they be zombies, or could we tell?
They would be just considered undead.
Okay. The only reason I'm asking is because I'm trying to figure out if I can just destroy them.
With divine, or what's it called?
Turning.
Turn undead. Yeah, they can be turned.
Yeah.
They can be turned undead. That's like affects a certain amount of hit dice, doesn't it?
No, it's the CR of the creature.
Oh.
If they are CR 1/2 or lower, if I'm within 30 feet of them and they fail their save, they're destroyed versus turn.
I don't think you tried it, but I'll just tell you that would not destroy them.
Okay, I didn't think it would, but hey, I get a chance to turn them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be heading toward that building when things start to hit the fan.
Which building?
That's after we get started with the combat, so
okay,
I
sure.
can try to stop the undead coming
Yeah.
out.
You guys are doing your long rest first, though, so you'll likely be attacking them in the night.
Yep. Guys, I still think we need to wait until the next day.
Why do you say that?
We got people that can't see in the dark.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, let's wait.
At first light, then?
I can cast light on something.
Yeah, me as well.
So you guys want to wait all the way until morning or dawn?
I mean, if how far does the light go from the light spell? Actually, hold on.
It's like 20 feet of bright, 10 feet of dim, or something like that.
So if all the Azamars use the light spell on something, like we would basically light up the entire battlefield.
It's still dim light.
Well, all right.
And don't forget that hopefully they'll have a campfire going, but we can't guarantee that.
Attack at first light, then.
Yeah, first light.
All right.
I'd say we could always sneak up and get in position in the darkness while they're resting. Or at least the more dexterous of us can.
I don't think I'm sneaking up on anything.
Well,
I think I could.
right around when night... so between like the afternoon and the nighttime, do you guys do anything, or do you just remain basically in this shelter? Because this is essentially like your long rest.
I don't want to waste if something comes up unless they're attacking us. I don't want to have to wait another day to try to get another long rest because we just had a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stay in the shelter and let things go past us.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Sure.
So near around nightfall, the heavy rains that have been pounding on your ruined building that you've been resting in kind of subside a little bit, and it becomes a thin mist, and you hear a big, basically, essentially a loud dinosaur yawn, and you can hear the large talons of what you can only think is the feathered Tyrannosaurus Rex scratching against the stonework of the amphitheater. You hear its breathing heavily, even though it's probably a couple 100 feet away over in the amphitheater where it's been nesting. You hear its heavy breathing as it gets up and it starts to prod out into the streets of Omu again, looking for a meal. You hear it crash down onto the stonework of the boulevard again. You hear the stones crack and break under the weight of the large beast. And you all kind of tense up inside of Sorey's tiny hut that he's produced inside of this little ruined building. It stops at the top of the boulevard, and again you can hear the familiar sound of it drawing in air, searching for a scent to track down and consume. And it makes a perception check.
Nat 20. King of Feathers, I like that name.
Because so many of you are huddled in this small space.
Well, don't forget, we're in the tiny hut.
Yeah. But the horse is not.
Nope.
The horse is too big.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, what? All right.
Fucking horses.
It steps down off the stone boulevard right beside the structure that you're all camping within, and it goes deadly silent for a moment. And after what seems like an eternity, all your hearts are kind of racing, and then you hear a loud crash as it smashes its face down into the top of the old stones of the building that you're resting in and clamps down on the back of your horse, Sigismund. You hear the horse like whinny and neigh in agony as the beast pulls it out from the structure where it's been standing waiting, and basically tosses the horse up into the air, opens its wide maw, and
I dismiss it.
just before
Yes!
just before it lands in the jagged, toothy maw of the King of Feathers, it disappears back into the Fae realm.
Oh, that's gonna be one pissed off.
I'm coming back for that motherfucker.
Which does
I'm wearing his feathers like a cloak.
which does kind of enrage the beast, and he begins to tear apart the stone structure that you're all inside of Sorey's tiny hut in. You can see the stonework kind of crumbling around you. So stuff can pass through the tiny hut, right?
Let me check real quick.
I think it's from the inside out.
I can't imagine that it becomes like a solid structure. I think it's like people can't see into it, but stuff can pass through it.
So, creatures and objects within the dome when you cast a spell can move through it freely. All other creatures and objects are barred from passing through it.
Oh, okay.
Spells and magical
Jeez.
effects can't extend
Nice.
to the dome.
So this huge, as the King of Feathers is tearing apart the ruins building of the structure you're in, a massive brick of stone gets jarred loose and falls right on top of the hut. And you all kind of tense up as you think you're going to get crushed by this big block of stone. but it just kind of hits the top of the translucent tiny hut and slides down the side into the patch of the russet moss that's covering the back of the building, and a big plume of poisonous cloud bursts out, and you hear the T-Rex take a big wafting breath again, and it goes all up into his nostrils, and he begins to like sneeze and spit, and it just enrages him even further, and he starts to like stomp and crash and swing his tail to and fro, slamming into the other buildings around him, just wrecking this whole entire. He like destroys one whole side of the wall of the shrine that's next door to you, and then he just stomps off. You can hear him stomping off angrily through the streets of Omu, spatting and coughing and trying to spit out this poisonous cloud from the fungus that's grown in the backside of this building that he's just obliterated. And you all kind of collectively let out a heavy sigh of breath as he stomps away from you. And you remain protected in now you can see the open night air above you through the walls of Sorey's tiny hut. And he's probably grinning at you all very smugly, I imagine.
Which direction did that guy go?
He's pounded off in this direction. And after a few minutes, actually, you can hear like the screams of kobolds as he probably wanders into a pack of them prodding through the runes at night.
Well, shit.
But now you've had your long rest, so you get half your spent hit dice back. You get all your spells back. You have full HP, but you still have about 6 or 7 hours to cover. Do you guys do anything for that second half of the night?
Is that stone still on top of the hut?
No, it's kind of slid off to one side, and now there's just a big pile of stone rubble all around you.
Okay, cool. So we don't have to worry about getting crushed once the hut goes away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue scribing the rest of the spells from that other book.
I'd say by now, Sorey, all the spells you've found from the book, you've successfully transcribed into your own spell book.
Yes.
How big is the hut again? It's 8.
Not large enough for a horse, apparently.
10 foot.
10 foot, gotcha.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Yeah, only 9 creatures can fit in there too, so.
I'm
Or
gonna.
9.
If I prep my weapons with the poison charge, will it last? How long does it last?
Yeah, it's either Azaka or Orvex that has to like stay outside of the hut as well. So I imagine Orvex is in there with you, and Azaka has like gone into tiger form and is hunting prey. You know.
It's probably the right call. Like, leaving Orvex outside probably not going to end well.
Yeah. Orvex at the end of that whole exchange with the King of Feathers is like huddled into a ball, and he's basically having PTSD from the big fight that he was a part of, a few days ago, where all the red wizards were destroyed by the Yuan-Ti.
Can I try and console him?
Sure.
What do we need to roll for that?
He's sitting in the back of the hut, and he's got like his knees pulled up and his head's like tucked between his legs, like when you're riding in an airplane, you know. Holy shit. Riceak, go ahead and take an inspiration.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ, man. That's totally what it looks like. And yeah, he's like just visibly shivering. How do you try to console him?
I just want to sit next to him and like lightly put my hand on his shoulder so he knows that he's not alone.
Sure. His shivering kind of subsides a little, and he peeks his head up and looks into your eyes, and you glance
Yes,
up and you
Mom.
can see Ava's shadow is like looming up above behind him.
Whoops.
Make a charisma saving throw for me. Okay, cool. So you have your
Very
arm around
cool.
him. You have your arm around him, um, and you pat him on the back, and he says, I'm sorry. I what happened to my party was very terrible, and I narrowly escaped being torn to pieces by the Yuan-Ti, and this is very unbecoming of me, but I'm still a bit on edge from what happened to me the other day. And he looks over at you, Garn, and he says, I can't thank you enough for you all helping me out of from underneath that pillar and giving me my life back. I surely would have perished were it not that you happened upon me. So
Thank Thardhar.
Thank me for gathering this group of people.
Listen here, you dork. We were together before you even showed up.
That may be true, but come on. Look at me. Look at us now.
it's premonition.
We've survived so much because of me.
We survived so much because of Thardhar.
I'm sorry.
If that's what
could
you want to call me.
Could you lay aside your bickering for a bit? This man is not feeling well.
How long if I prep the poison charges on the weapon, would they last? How long does that charge last for?
Until you use it.
Okay, I'm gonna be like preparing for the fight by like sharpening the weapons and putting the poisons on them and kind of like meditating and thinking out the battle.
Which poisons do you apply?
I'm going to put the insta poison on my primary weapon, and then on my offhand weapon, I'm going to put the paralyzing poison.
Okay. Does anybody? How do the rest of you prep for the upcoming battle?
Oh, one more question.
Sure.
Those wolves with that wolf mask, is that like a spell, or are they just like there? How long are they around till they die, or how long are they around for?
I'd say they probably last like 8 hours.
Okay, I won't do that yet then. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm just I'll pray for my spells in the morning, and then when we get ready, I'll cast the spells needed for the combat.
Sure.
Yeah, when I'm sorry, when do I get to be invisible?
When do you get to be invisible? I
Yes.
think invisibility only lasts for an hour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
less than or
Alright.
equal to 1 hour.
They'd probably cast their spells on you just before you were getting ready to head out to confront the camp. But you've had the first portion of your day that basically was your long rest that went from noon until dusk. And now you have to now that you're all energized, you've had a rest, and now you're basically up, and it's the middle of the night, and there's another 6 or 7 hours that has to pass by, and so you just have all this time to contemplate like what might happen next. Um, if you wanted to, do anything else or prep for how else do it, anyone else prep for the battle in any specific way, like Wuce is off in the corner, meddling with his poisoner's kit, and he's probably had to like start a small fire, and he's boiling a bit of water, and he's putting ingredients in and making a viscous little substance that he starts to coat his blades with, and
I'll just hold my holy symbol and contemplate where I've gone wrong in life.
sure.
I'll pray, basically meditate on getting to inflict Galadia on some evil beings here in a minute.
Yeah. So you guys are.
I'm telling Joy about all the stupid things we're going to do via my sending stone necklace.
Oh, nice.
Is she still alive?
I don't know.
Yeah, she is.
My darling.
You. Yeah, I'm just sitting and telling her about the things. I don't know if she's answering or not, but I'll just.
She is answering, but the voice that comes back is very raspy and difficult. She kind of goes into these fits of coughing, and but you can hear the hopefulness in her voice now that you tell her that you think you're very close to finding the entrance to where the soulmonger lies.
It's mostly just me going, the people in this party are fucking useless. I don't know what I'm doing here. I miss you so much. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, it's mostly like that.
Sure.
And I might not be very discreet about it.
I'll just give her I look at her and give her a sad smile.
So rest of the night passes by without much more activity. You can hear occasionally the roar of the King of Feathers off somewhere, stomping around through the city of Omu, wreaking havoc in an enraged state. And as dawn approaches, you begin to prepare for the encounter before you. I drank like 80 ounces of fluid so far, so I have to pee again already for some reason, so I'm going to go do that.
I just think he's shaking it a lot.
He broke that seal.
Going back and adding monsters every time.
Yeah, that too.
So do we actually have a rock solid plan?
Nope.
I think the biggest thing is as soon as he can, our flame storm guy needs to hit that as quickly as possible.
All right.
And Sorey needs to hit the fireball as quickly as possible.
Surprise attack off first, though.
So when you emerge from Sorey's tiny hut, you can see the wreckage around you that the King of Feathers caused. Basically, the building that you were camping in has been totally demolished. It just is a pile of broken stone all around you. You can see the whole side of the wall of the temple next door has been toppled over, and even a few of the buildings behind the building you've been resting in, big holes have been crashed into the walls of those buildings as well, as the King of Feathers just wrought havoc on this little portion of Omu, and then stomped off out into the city to munch on some kobolds. As the morning is still kind of there's still that looming massive black cloud hanging above the city currently, but it's not like a not like a massive downpour of rain. It's still just kind of misting as you step out of Sorey's tiny hut, and but there are now again rumblings of thunder, and you look up at the sky as you hear the rumble, and you can see little flashes of blue light in the dark clouds as you come out into the morning air. I imagine at this point you start to prepare your spells. You put your silence and invisibility on Thalia.
I also put the bless on her.
Bless as well.
Bless won't last long enough. It's a 1 minute spell now.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Also, the people that I said had 10 extra hit points got 10 extra hit points.
Yep.
And would now be a good time to summon those wolves?
Yeah.
So it's like
So
4 wolves, or is it two wolves?
I thought I read 1d6. But...
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what it said.
yeah, but you got 2. You rolled a 2, right?
Yeah.
So you put your mask on, and as it settles onto your face, spiritual wolves kind of begin to form on either side of you, and they take a full shape. And there are these 2 large, shaggy gray wolves beside you now, Wuce. They kind of sniff the air, and they seem to behave. One of them kind of lets out a low growl, but they kind of stay by your side, awaiting a command from you.
Well, I tell them to be quiet.
They'll just kind of follow you.
I quietly kind of pet them like I would a domestic house pet dog.
Sure. So how are you guys going to approach the camp?
First off, I'm going to send Halcyon out to keep a lookout at, like, aerially.
Okay.
From above.
I'm gonna sneak up behind the camp where Dimlantern was, trying to keep to the shadows. And
Okay, Faye, make a stealth check for me.
Fuck. What if I fail? This is gonna be so bad. I'm gonna fuck up the entire plan because I am going to play my biggest.
Not with that attitude. Can you ping the building with the gnolls there?
So the camp's here. As far as you know, as far as Sigismund knew, the gnolls were stationed in this building behind the wagon.
So the north. Okay, gotcha.
How does Halcyon, when he's flying up away from you in the air, how do you guys communicate together, Riceak?
Telepathically.
Oh, okay.
But we speak in Sylvan together.
What does that have a range?
Yes, it does.
I think it's 100 feet.
Right. It is 100 feet. You're correct.
So as you are preparing yourselves, Halcyon takes to the air, and he circles around above your heads, heads off towards the camp, and as he returns, you get these images in your mind, and you hear the voice of Halcyon, and Halcyon says that it seems like she can only now see she can still see the 3. She can see Magnus and the Barbarian and the Bard. The Barbarian seems to be asleep next to the log. Magnus looks like he's scrounging for more fuel for the fire. And the Bard is resting up against the wagon, seemingly asleep as well. But it appears that during the night, Magnus has set the undead loose as kind of a stationary guards throughout the camp. So they're kind of looming throughout their camp, kind of guarding through the night. And it's probably what keeps most of the things in Omu away from them.
So I relay that information to everyone, and I suggest that whoever was going after the door to lock the undead maybe just focus on the Bard. which
You
was
mean the
Thalia.
warlock? That we're trying to all focus on the warlock.
Well, Thalia was going to go after the bard because she has the silence
Yes.
spell on her.
Yes.
And invisibility.
Oh, so Thalia was going to be the one that locked up the building, you're saying?
Was
Yeah.
I? No, I wasn't.
No, I thought
Okay.
Faye was doing that.
Oh, Faye was, yeah. Okay, so I relay that information to Faye that maybe, like, change your plan, go after someone else.
Go after the warlock.
Or whomever.
I will.
And also, I would like to ask Halcyon how far Magnus is wandering around scavenging for wood.
Not very.
Like, how far?
Not very far.
Okay. He's within, like, the perimeter of the undead?
Yeah, he's within the confines of the camp. Yeah.
Okay. So I relay all that information to everyone else.
And Halcyon says that he sees about 8 of the Knoll servants.
Okay. Looking like we have 8 undead to deal with.
So are we not going to be able to see the camp again like we did before, since we're up on high level?
If you have dark vision, you can see up to 60 feet.
But we waited until the beginning of light.
If you want to, Faye, how you want to get behind the camp?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe see if I could find some high ground of some sort and
I will place you.
I'd like to try and flank and be as close to the perimeter side that puts me close to Magnus, if that makes sense.
So say one more time.
I want to try and flank them by going around but like making my way close to the perimeter of the camp. That would put me closer, as close as I can to Magnus.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of like straight approach, I guess.
Let me do some checks here.
Do you need me to roll stealth for the wolves?
If they're following you.
So, 2d20s, or what do you want me to roll?
Let me see if I have a wolf in the module. We'll use Winter Wolf stats. So d20 plus 1 for each. Or no, sorry. D20 minus 1. No, that's the null. Sorry. D20 plus 1. Yeah, D20 plus 1 for each of them. 19 and 21. Nice.
I repeat, I'm by myself because everyone else is hidden.
I haven't rolled stealth yet.
Well, as you start coming down the boulevard, you can see that there are 2 of the gnolls on top of the boulevard near the stairwell where the stairs lead down into the camp. Faye, as you climb down one of the, you hop down off of the boulevard down behind the camp and make your way up onto one of the ruined buildings, and you gaze down upon and you see now Magnus is tossing some new fuel into the flames, and as he's doing so, you see the barbarian and the bard kind of rouse. They both kind of stand, and the bard begins to do some stretching. The barbarian takes his axe and he walks over to a tree and he begins to like start to chop it down. So you guys up above on the boulevard start to hear this thunking sound. It seems like maybe Magnus is irritated that he couldn't really find very much kindling, and he still needed to let even though they're under his control, he needed to let his companions rest. But now the barbarian, you can hear the dull thudding of an axe into the side of a tree trunk, and actually fairly quickly you can kind of hear the cracking of wood as the tree kind of topples over, and you see this tree topple over Faye, and the barbarian begins to hack the branches off and chop it into like logs of firewood. The gnolls kind of continue to lumber where they're stationed, and Thalia, where do you make your way into the camp?
Is there enough space between the two gnolls at the entrance, like right here?
Yeah, you can squeeze
at the
between
staircase.
them. Yeah.
Without them noticing me.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go between them, and then I'll just position myself behind the bar. Which one's the bard? The one at the...
Well, you know, if you get that close to them, they'll know something's up. You need to stay a little bit away before the firestorm hits.
Yeah, so
Matt,
do I need to...
As soon as you... Yeah, so like, I mean...
Mm-hmm.
He's invisible and silent, right?
Yeah, but as soon as that silence zone hit Magnus, he would know instantly something is up.
Yeah, but Magnus is in the back that day, right?
Magnus, he's still 10 feet away from me, right?
It's a 20-foot.
I think that's Magnus.
I thought that was the barbarian.
I posted a picture of Magnus in Discord. So this token here is Magnus.
So I'll stay right at the... Like, I'll wait on the stairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Perfect. That way, your first move, you'll get both of them.
All right.
So is Garn with us now?
Yeah, I'm here. Why?
I mean, with our group, did you catch up? You had said that you were like way behind us.
Well, no, I mean, y'all were all talking about going off to the side and not going down the thoroughfare and attacking before, you know, I was trying to get there so that I could like go, hey, we found another one. And then everybody goes, boom.
You guys all rolled some pretty nice stealth shit.
Yeah, I'm not even trying. I am making myself a target, and whoever's with me is making themselves a target.
Yeah,
if I'm in position, can I ready an action too?
Sure.
First,
I am so ready.
as soon as anyone on their side does an aggressive like attack motion, I'm just gonna go right for Magnus.
Well, you'll have a so let's see, how far away are you? As soon as you get within 30 feet, so you probably need to be like 5 more feet away with your wolves, because as soon as you get within 30 feet, they would get another check basically. But let me get you some tokens to represent your wolves real quick.
Riceak and Sorey, you're the two that are going to start this off, so as soon as you're ready.
Yeah, I'll ready my action on Sorey's fireball, and then I'll cast Firestorm at the same time.
Yeah, I've got an arrow nut.
Okay.
And I'm very, very ready to shoot it into the back of that fucking lizard's head.
So, Riceak and Sorey, you both launch your spells.
Wait. Shouldn't we try to get closer? Just the people who are gonna run into attack. Like if the gnolls are not gonna stop us, I would try to stop basically before Thalia, like there. Or
well,
you know.
the gnolls don't instantly attack you, but it does make Magnus aware of your presence.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I don't want to ruin that. So go ahead.
The second I hear the start of some magic, I'm going to cast. Or I'm going to shoot.
Okay, so everyone just roll initiative for me.
Do you want Halcyon with me or separately?
God,
Separately.
Oh, I'm so
Okay.
bad.
Oh wait, I had to choose my token. Do I get to re-roll that because I didn't choose my token?
No.
Whoops.
Fuck you. Okay.
But you're stealth.
you guys.
You're stealth, so you'll have a surprise attack anyways.
My initiative is 22. I don't know why it came out twice.
Yeah, just you can change it in the counter, the turn order counter.
It didn't let me click on my avatar either. I guess I don't have a token selected, but I clicked
I
on it.
only have one attack, right?
Would you roll 25?
Not 20.
20, 25, yeah.
Yeah, even still, I can't select my token.
You can't select your token. Can you select it now? You're on the ruler, that's why.
Thanks. My bad. I just moved it back to where it was, I think. What's the speed on the wolves? You said they're winter wolves is what you want to use?
They're not winter wolves. They're just regular wolves, and I'll give you the stats for them. The winter wolves are much stronger than regular wolves.
Okay. They're more like dire wolves or something?
They're just... Yeah, they're more like dire wolves, yeah. Okay, so... Riceak and Sorey, you both release a torrent of flame upon the unsuspecting party. Where do you drop your fireball? Basically to hit the MP or the characters and then as many undead as you can get. Okay. And what was your damage on that?
27.
27.
DC 16, I believe.
16. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So 2 save and 2 fail. Nonetheless, 4 of the gnolls crumple to the ground. This guy takes 27, 40.
This is just from Sorey's spell?
Yeah, just the fireball. Now, let's see.
So what I'm gonna do is make a cross this.
I haven't done the saves for the other guys yet, so give me a second.
Okay, I'll
It's a lot of NPCs that I'm running at the moment, so and 3 of them are actually full-blown characters that I've created. So it'll take me a sec here just to get
And I helped.
dex save.
You bitch.
Well, Magnus is old me. That was one of my old characters.
So I take it that the characters have maximum hit points then.
No, they don't.
Oh!
That's so funny.
I rolled the hit points for all the ones that I created. So they're actually all below average, basically. 50. Okay. Babar needs to make a save. Fail. so he takes
He
the full
instantly burns up.
27, 90, 70. Cassian makes a save. So he just takes half.
That scene like break dances through it.
Yeah. which is like so Cassian.
For sure.
So these 3 NPCs that you're fighting right now are NPCs from basically our homebrew game or our in-person live game in Seattle.
Nice.
It's making me reminiscent.
But Wuce's whole character thing is hunting down Magnus. And so I basically progressed their story quite a bit, which, you know, he knows nothing about, but...
For sure. Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
So, why don't you Riceak cast your... basically everyone down below has to make another dex save, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can just post the spell so everyone can read if that would be better.
Sure.
Fair.
Just cast it or whatever. 41 damage. Jesus.
You're not even gonna get down there. I'm gonna be dead.
No. Well, hopefully. Because Sorey and I think Riceak go again.
The DC's like what, 10 on that though, right?
Well, now that I'm a caster, it's 13.
13. Okay. So 20.
So half damage on a save.
Yeah.
At least one was a solid hit.
You hit somebody too. They didn't get the 10.
20 damage is damage too.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah, half damage is damage, yeah.
And if at all possible, I don't want to hit the tent or their belongings.
I don't
'cause
think that's...
there might be something in there.
Yeah, I don't think that's not possible with that spell.
Well, my goal was to make this kind of cross pattern, like something like this, and then walk it up this, and then towards this.
Just make a flat dexterity check for me.
Dex, okay. Let's see if this happens.
Natural 1.
Mediocre.
Some
Fine.
stuff will probably get burned up.
Yeah, like Magnus's face.
One of
I was
the
just
other...
hoping if they had any belongings that we wouldn't ruin all those.
Another one of the gnolls falls dead.
If it's magical, it probably won't be.
Belongings.
Thalia, what are you doing on your surprise? Now that the spells are cast.
Yes, I'm just moving right between them. Like if I can, scurry through them, between them.
Yeah. So do you? You can basically get anywhere in here.
Yes, that's about right. So now there's silence.
And you can still attack.
I can still attack. Is it smart though?
You can grapple or attack.
I'm supposed to grapple
all
the one in the back, right?
All the ground. You rush down the stairs and you're rushing through now smoldering moss and vine, and there's flames flicking up around your feet. The barbarian stood and he's hefted his big jagged axe blade up in both his hands and he's kind of looking around. The bard is scorched from head to toe. His skin's all blackened. Most of his clothes have been burned away. Except his armor looks okay. But all the undershirt he had on is burned and melted into his flesh. And Magnus stands as well. He draws a He from his side he pulls this long black rod out, and he's holding it up high with one hand kind of outstretched, and you can see a ball of swirling black energy coalescing in his palm. Basically, he's got like two of his fingers bent inwards, ready to like release something, kind of like Spider-Man. So yeah, you can make an attack. As soon as you attack, your invisibility will go away, but the silence will remain. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'll attack Magnus in order to like break his concentration.
Okay, sure. 11 is a miss.
He's got an advantage on that first attack.
17 is a miss as well. Why does he have advantage?
17 is
because he was invisible. Unless
gotcha.
Magnus.
Oh yeah, gotcha. 22 is a hit though.
All right. Well, okay. He's not undead by any means.
No, not undead by any means.
Are you a paladin? I can't remember.
No, my sword has like bonus damage against undead.
Faye,
gotcha.
You're up.
Yes.
Make a surprise round attack.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
and actually, you wouldn't be able to swing that because that's just a surprise round. So only your first strike would have. So you don't actually hit with that second one. It's not a full round. It's just a surprise round attack.
All right. Okay.
You have one attack.
Damn it.
Something like that. So I'm assuming I do get sneak attack.
If you shoot at the bar, you'd get sneak attack no matter what. Yeah.
It's a surprise round, so I automatically crit.
Yep.
Just hit him now.
Who do you shoot at?
Magnus.
Okay, 25 is a hit.
Yeah.
16 piercing plus your sneak.
If it's a crit, then I get double damage.
Yeah, so roll the damage again.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Nice. Solid.
He gonna die.
Damn.
He's so dead.
And your sneak too, right?
Yeah, that's sneak attack is added
That's
in her rolls.
including my sneak attack.
46 sneak attack.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm level 7, I think.
Did you roll yours? Is that?
It's already incorporated.
Those are incorporated.
It's already in there.
36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41 total.
Yes.
30, 29. Okay, he's still standing.
What? What the fuck?
He
Are
had
you
a
serious?
he had a pretty hefty pool of temporary HP.
All those fucking rats, man. That's why I'm trying to kill this guy.
Yeah, but they don't add on top of each other anymore.
Shit.
No, for sure.
They do for Magnus.
Oh god, fuck this guy.
Wuce, you're up.
I'm going after Magnus, man.
Okay.
Is this a surprise round?
Yep.
I'm running in there, I guess.
Okay.
I'm kind of enraged.
I don't think these guys are going to get a chance to escape.
18.
18 is a miss. And let me see. I just got to check one of his spells real quick. Okay. Yeah, so you run in behind Magnus and swipe your blade at him. As you come in towards him, a swarm of insects seems to like begin flying out of like the sleeves of his coat and his collar, and they kind of envelop him, and he totally like disappears in this swarm of swirling insects. And you drive your blade in, and it just goes into the swirling mass of insects that have now totally covered his body, and you don't know if you've struck him or not.
Son of a bitch.
So I think that's everyone for surprise round, and we're going to go into normal initiative now.
No.
I will roll for your wolves as well here. I think they're the only ones that I missed.
Thanks.
And you are now up at the top of the order, Wuce.
So he's just gone now?
No, he's still standing there, but he has been enveloped in a cloak of flies. An aura of buzzing flies has surrounded him.
Okay, so it just flies, huh?
Yeah. And now that you're within 5 feet of him, they begin to kind of swarm around you as well, and you take 5 points of damage.
And they're silent because I don't hear them or anything either? Because we're within 5 feet of...
You're within the zone of silence, yeah.
So that means I can't do any of my spells. Wait, no. Wait.
Only ones that have a verbal tag.
Which should be... That's the V one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I can't do it. I guess I'm just gonna keep trying to hack away at this guy then.
Okay. $21 is a hit. Riceak, you're up. Oh, you're
Hold on, I'm
gonna
not done.
offhand?
Plus, so that first weapon, this is insta poison damage,
Oh, okay.
and then I'm gonna attack him with my offhand as well.
How do you want to do this?
Damn.
Well, he's been knocked unconscious, so he'll get some death saves. But you drive, you drive your blade into his back, and he turns and looks down at you, and his eyes kind of roll into the back of his head, and he falls to the ground.
This is for all the rats you've killed. You piece of shit. You ugly, stupid, stinky, horrible skull of a half-elf. I'm still gonna hit him with my offhand.
Okay. The attack has advantage. Because he's
Fuck
prone.
this guy. Fuck this guy.
28 is a hit, and he fails 2 death saves automatically.
Yep.
And then this has this second blade has a poison that's paralyzing. I don't know if that really plays anything in it, but it'd be a DC 13 con save. Paralyzed for 5 rounds. I don't know if it affects anything though.
Not that he's unconscious already now.
All right, so yeah, I mean, but it still is what was on that weapon. So.
Riceak, you're up.
I'm going to hold my turn until Halcyon can go. And I want her to... She's going to fly towards this person up on this temple at the top here and do the help action on that person.
On Faye?
Oh, that's Faye?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Me, you swat.
There.
Then I will change what I was planning. I was like, who is that person up there? Okay, I'm
There
sorry.
is a fourth person though, right?
Then I'll wait for Halcyon to fly down and do the help action on this particular person here. I think, is that the barbarian?
Yeah.
Okay, the barbarian. And then I will shoot the barbarian with a bow.
So you want Halcyon to help the enemy?
No, help me attack the enemy so I get
okay.
advantage.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Halcyon helps you.
Right. So Riceak will wait to shoot until Halcyon flies.
Okay.
When he goes unconscious, I don't see any difference with the halos, do I?
No.
Okay. Also, keep track of the disembodied halo.
Yep.
Because hopefully he was in the effect too.
He has,
No, the invisible guy.
you can make a perception check for me if you want, Sigismund, on the start of your turn. Sorey, you're up.
And another one.
Another fireball. So
Jesus.
the charred, as the flames erupt around you, Thalia and Wuce, the charred body of Magnus lays there in the now scorched earth beneath you. I'll make a couple more death saving throws. Or not death saving throws, but dexterity saves. Fail.
All that are in the flames or what?
And when the flames disperse, the bard seems to be lying dead on the ground as well. He'll probably have to make some death saves.
I'm taking out your whole family. I'm taking out all your kin, you fucking asshole. I'm yelling at the unconscious Magnus right now.
The knoll in front of you, Sigismund,
Yes.
makes an attack with his bite and his claw. As he begins to assault you, both of those miss, I believe.
No. I would probably be going for the two-handed sword,
So
which
have
means
Gladia
20
out,
would hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you take 7 piercing plus 2 poison, or make a Constitution save for me.
Ooh. 8.
So you take 9 total damage, 7 piercing and 2 poison. And now make a perception check for me.
All right. But before that, I would like to make a reaction.
Okay.
Hellish Rebuke on that thing.
Sure.
Is there?
Nice.
Are they all dead yet?
18 damage.
Yes.
And now make a perception check for me.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
1. Let's see. Oh, 18.
So you scan over the battlefield and you look up on the roof of the ruined building that Faye's standing on, and you can see the halo floating directly behind her.
Oh, okay.
A halo? Halcyon.
Okay.
Do you? So you use your reaction. Do you attack now?
Yeah. So she'll fly down there.
Well, Sigismund, because he used his reaction and made I asked him for a perception check. So do you attack now as well?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. I'll hit the one I hit with the Hellish Rebuke.
Okay. 15 is a hit.
And because it is undead, so 20.
Nice. You just basically lop one of its arms off at the shoulder.
Yeah.
And Halcyon flies down over...
I have a second attack.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I'll hit the other one.
Did you take away my attack?
The first one didn't die, so if you want to keep attacking that one.
The first one is still alive?
Yeah, it's still alive. Yeah.
Fuck that guy then. 18.
18 is a hit. 19 damage. And you basically swing your sword down and hack one of its arms off the shoulder. You bring your blade back up and drive it up through its rib cage, knocking a bunch of its ribs out. It's still kind of now haunched over, most of its ribs are knocked out, but its spine is still there, so it's resting its other hand on its pelvis, and it's trying to hold itself up, and it's still alive, but
wow, it's a tough one.
Halcyon swoops down over the battle scene, and you fire your bow at.
Jesus.
And it just kind of like goes off and clanks off like the stonework of the temple. For some reason, at the last moment, something like out of the corner of your eye distracted you. Cassian makes a death saving throw. From behind you, a gnoll creeps up Thalia.
Mm-hmm.
And bites and claws at you. 19 and 22.
Misses.
Okay. The other one at the top of the stairs, Sigismund, does the same. 19 and 9.
No.
Okay. Evelyn.
I want to
Evelyn.
attack the... Yeah. I want to attack the other one with the soul drinker.
Okay.
Soul drinker?
Nothing suspicious here!
18 is a hit.
Sounds pretty badass.
Sounds so hot. So hot. Can't even...
Do you attack him again?
I don't have to attack.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Any other like bonus actions or anything?
No.
Okay.
How do you get 2 attacks?
Paladin or packed weapon.
Or offhand. So.
One of your wolves is up. Wuce. What do you want them to do?
I'm kind of distracted by hacking on Magnus, so I think they would just go for whatever that one is.
Make it to about there. Garn.
Take your... Is that one still standing?
Barely.
That one hasn't died yet?
Nope, neither one up top has died yet.
Alright, make 2 attacks of opportunity. Hit.
So the one that's still looking fairly healthy bites you as you walk by on the shoulder. Make a con save for me. So you take 4 piercing damage. The other one...
I take 2.
Okay.
Oh, 4 piercing and... I'm sorry, for the poison it's half or none?
0.
Okay.
Yeah. So you take piercing damage. Then the other one that's like had his arm chopped off and his ribs knocked out. He tries to swipe at you. Like he lets go of holding himself up and tries to swipe at you, and basically like his spine twists backwards and he falls off the ledge and clatters into a little pile of bone at the bottom of the stairs.
Sigmund, did you say anything about the Halo person?
No, I did not,
Okay.
to be honest. I probably should have.
Yep. So the first thing I do is I turn undead. So the 2 undead people, DC 16 wisdom saves. So they both will move at their highest speed away from me. In other words,
so the one by
those
Thalia,
two will get...
the one by Thalia, actually, as you turn undead, basically begins to crumble into ash.
Oh, cool.
How convenient.
And the other one will move away from you.
And then as a bonus action, I don't think a 13 hits him.
Hits who?
A 13 is a miss, yeah.
Yeah, I cast Spiritual Weapon as my bonus action, so.
Who are you attacking?
Babar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, when it's still standing that I can see, he's still standing.
So,
He's kind of under the circles, so I didn't see him. Sorry.
Babar, on his turn, steps forward. He swoops down and picks up the charred, limp remains of Magnus. And with his heaving axe in his other hand, he swipes at the air. And much like when you summoned your Fae steed from the Fae Wild, Sigismund, a tear opens up in the material plane.
Oh.
Beyond it, you can all see a landscape that resembles much the one that you're standing on now, except that it is far more barren. The trees are withered and dark. The buildings are further crumbled into ruin. And with the body of
Can I counterspell this?
Magnus in tow, you cannot. He steps through the tear in the material plane and begins to move off into the distance with Magnus's charred remains under his arm.
Just an attacks of opportunity.
Before he steps through, in a grumbled, rough voice, all he says is, "Reek, we leave now." And Thalia, you can make an attack of opportunity.
And the wolf should be able to too, right?
Sure.
Did I get to hack on Magnus one more time?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can for good measure.
Looking
16
for
is
great
a,
measure.
16 is a miss. Let's see. Wolf hits that +4.
It's a D10 +4 or D20 +4.
Yeah.
Oh, you're rolling it. Okay, cool.
The wolf bites him, but it's not going to be enough damage to kill him.
Doesn't he? The wolf has some kind of grappling thing too, though, right? Or knock him prone or something. I thought there was some side feature with the wolf.
Target is a creature. It can succeed on a DC 11 strength or be knocked prone. Okay.
Which he's probably gonna do, but yeah, because he's a barbarian.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna take another hack at Magnus.
Sure.
I want to try and slice his opal off his head.
Okay. 16 is a miss. The barbarian turns at the last moment, and your blade kind of sticks into a metal plate that's like on his waist. And he steps through the crack of the material plane into this barren landscape beyond, and he begins to disappear. You can see Thalia and Wuce as you peer through this rip in the reality that you're currently standing in. He begins heaving his axe and hacking through a throng of bones as he makes his way up a similar set of stairs, much like the one that you've descended here.
Oh, through the portal thing?
Chase him.
I mean, yeah, but also, what did he say? He said, what is it? Reek what now? What is it?
Probably the invisible guy.
He said, "Reek, we leave now."
Alright.
And he disappears through the crack in that he's ripped open with his axe. And as he steps through, very slowly it begins to shrink again. That thing's dead. Magnus is dead. This guy's dead. This guy's dead. 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 Thalia, you're up.
Can I try and slip through the crack as well?
You can.
All right. Then I'll try.
You follow behind.
Mm-hmm.
I have another map for this, but we will resolve the rest of the turns before I move over. We'll see who makes it through and who does not.
Oh, god damn it.
One of your wolves, another one of your wolves is up, Magnus. Or
I'm telling him to
Wuce.
take chase. Oh, Freudian slip. Take
Yeah.
chase and go after.
So he
Babar, I guess.
bounds forth and he disappears through the tear.
Hey.
Faye, you're up.
Yes. Hold on, I gotta check something.
So Thalia has disappeared too. She's in the.
Thalia has
The
disappeared into the void, the crack, into the barren landscape beyond.
Bye.
Can I see him to shoot?
No.
No, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
In that case, I'm going to use my action to unleash my divine energy.
Okay.
And bring out my wings.
Okay.
And I'm going to dash with my bonus action.
Okay. As you fly off the cliff, you feel
An attack of opportunity.
Let's see if you feel it.
I mean, that's fair.
16 to hit? Oh, 18 to hit actually. Because he's invisible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you feel a blade jam into your back, and you take
and
24.
All of my temper.
24 points of piercing damage, and you turn and look over your shoulder, and this haggard-looking man wearing like burlap clothing, holding a long jagged blade in one hand, stabs into, he draws your blade forth, and you can see your blood dripping off the end of his blade. Then you take off of the edge of the rooftop that you're on, and you dash so you can fly. Your fly speed is 30, right?
Yes. So
you fly through the tear.
Yeah.
You disappear into the tear beyond, into the barren landscape beyond. You see now the barbarian is hacking his way up through the stairs through a throng of skeletons. And there are like bones all now littered around the ground around you and Thalia.
Okay. I'm up in the air though.
Yeah.
Good. So I'm not in range of any of these things.
Mm-mm.
Nope. Good. Okay.
And most of the ones now around where you've stepped through have just been hacked into shards of bone.
Yeah.
By the barbarian. Wuce, you're up.
Yeah, I'm chasing, I guess. That's.
You jump through the tear.
I'm screaming "fuck" as I go through too.
Barren landscape beyond. You basically bump into Thalia in front of you, and Faye is above you with golden wings outstretched. Actually, Faye, I need you to roll a D100 for me.
Oh no! Why?
So I don't catch Babar though.
No, not yet.
Because I come through all disoriented or something.
Well, he's been moving his way up the stairwell, hacking through skeletons.
How many freaking attacks does he get?
Yeah, so if I'm coming through behind him,
it's story purposes.
Okay,
gotcha.
different than that.
I'll just say I came through disoriented.
Once he moves through, he's basically gone into a rage. He's got Magnus under one arm, and he's now just plowing through a throng of skeletons that are on the other side of this portal.
He's doing like a Minotaur charge.
You come, and so I'll read this at the end of this combat encounter, but.
Alright, cool.
You pop through, you bump into Thalia on the other side of the portal. Faye is above you with golden wings outstretched, her eyes ablaze with divine fury. Wuce, Riceak, you're up.
Why do I have to roll a 1d100?
You'll find out whenever you hit the right number.
Can you ping where the tear is?
Yeah, I was actually just about to draw it.
Should be near where the bodies are, right?
Yeah, it's right here, the pink square.
Perfect. I will cast Fly and book it through the hole.
Alright.
Booker T.
and then I have another 5 feet of flying on the other side.
Yeah. You
Do
come
I
out-
see? Do I see whomever?
You see whomever. You come out and you fly up through the crack, and you're now there floating beside Faye. The tendrils of her golden wings are kind of tickling your cheek.
Okay. Technically, I'm like.
This is getting hot.
Sorey, you're up.
Get a room, guys.
He's not my type.
Bird.
Alright, I'm gonna Misty Step first.
Wait, I don't know if he is my type. Does he have money?
Yeah, he's probably like the richest guy in the group.
Yeah.
He might be my type.
Sugar
And
mama.
then I guess I have to dash to get through the portal, but I have an extra
Sugar mama would be if I
25
had money.
feet with it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's a sugar.
Disappear
daddy.
into the tear, in reality, into the Shadowfell.
Oh Jesus!
I'm still screaming fuck.
It's echoing through the hole.
Sigismund, you're up. Below you, down in the chaos of the scene below, most of your companions has disappeared, and you feel a strong, pulsating, writhing, just mass
Penis.
of entropic, necrotic, evil energy
Oh,
bursting
swollen?
out through the tear in the material plane off into the Shadowfell. Instantly, you know what this dimension is that everyone has now dashed in through, and Galania does not seem excited to move into this version of reality, but nonetheless, most of your companions have disappeared. What do you do?
I wait until next week to take my turn. I'll
What happens next week?
I'm gonna have to run through here.
Okay. You disappear through the tear.
What, does it make a noise when we go through?
It sounds like you yelling "fuck."
Actually, we don't hear anything.
Well, yeah. What you scream fuck, and then halfway through, when you get through and bump into Thalia, it's deafened by the silence of.
Oh, I do have to ask a question. Him doing that thing with the axe, did that require verbal component?
No.
Damn.
It's an ability of the axe itself.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Damn.
You're talking about
Retcon the
Babar?
last 40 minutes.
Babar, yeah.
You got a crazy axe, huh? Nice.
Halcyon
She will
disappears
book
into
it through.
the void. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she follows her master.
Like a good.
Evelyn.
I wanna go through the portal.
Okay.
It's Evelyn.
Evelyn. You
And you're the one who started it, us calling her that.
Evelyn. Yeah.
For sure,
I
it's
know
a-
I know I did. It's my bad. Evelyn. And Garn, with your dwarven legs. The other wolf jumps through the portal beside you, Wuce.
You know, it's really bad that the last person that's going through this portal is the one that can't move the fastest. But I'm looking at
Sokka's still out here.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be coming through.
What?
Oh shit!
Sweet.
Asaka's like.
Oh shit!
Azaka makes it through. Orvex rushes down behind her, and at the last minute, he thinks better of it and remains on the prime material plane.
Then realizes that he's alone.
Oh wait, this is a bad idea.
Then he realizes
The guy with the rogue that hit what's her name? Did he try to come through it?
You don't know.
Well, he was visible.
He's visible, yeah.
I'll know next round.
He
Oh,
disappears.
did he cast back into?
He disappears again.
Did he cast a spell or try to go
Well,
stealth?
he cast a spell, but
Okay.
he did it on the other side of the tear.
Huh?
He was behind everybody, basically up on the ledge, right? You don't know if he's made it through or not at this point. But you step through the tear, the hulking barbarian. You step through the tear the hulking barbarian made with his wicked-looking axe. As you do, you notice that your surroundings are vastly different, yet somehow also strangely the same. The ruined buildings around you are even more crumbled, laying in heaps of stone. The thick vegetation of moss and vines that cover almost everything in Omu is all gone, leaving nothing more than a barren landscape of dull gray. You hear the clattering of bones, and you turn to see the barbarian hacking his way through a large group of skeletons, scattering hundreds of shards of bone to the ground around him with every swing of his snarling blade. He ascends the stairs that you came down previously, but also didn't come down, and disappear into a throng of bones. Your gaze is drawn forth and upward in the direction they are moving, and your eyes land upon a towering zuggurat, a massive pyramid of black stone. It seems to be incomplete, and huge abominations can be seen dragging large bricks of obsidian that form the structure through the streets of Omu toward the vile-looking building. Atop this entire structure lies a row of jagged spikes on which appear to be humanoids impaled upon them, their lifeblood slowly oozing down the sides of the unfinished temple. There is a momentary rumble beneath your feet. You steady yourselves, and a burst of hot molten lava illuminates the otherwise gray landscape. You turn towards the activity, and you spot two more towering zuggurats near the edge of the lava pits. They seem to be bisected by the river that flows through the shadow mirror of Omu, and beyond the two darkened temples, a towering volcano spitting forth steaming hot lava, a swirling dark cloud of entropic energies looming above it. And that is where we will end our session this week.
Oh, you know, you motherfucker! No! No!
Wait, so we all made it through then?
Yep. Welcome to the Shadowfell.
God damn it.
We're in the fucking Shadowfell.
What do you know about the Shadowfell?
We are so fucked.
Are we gonna come across a bunch of demigods? What are those things called?
This is like the undead capital.
This is from the Stranger Things creature.
It is
Demigod.
it is a mirror version of the prime material plane, much like the Feywild, but it is much darker.
Is there a bunch of like spores floating around?
There's a lot of ash flowing through the air from the continuously erupting volcano. Yeah.
Basically, we're all gonna die. It's gonna be great.
I'm here, don't worry.
The last thing that happens is that the shards of bone around your feet begin to rumble with the erupting volcano. The barbarian, as he's hacking through the skeletons at the top of the stairway, turns and makes one last glance at you. And as he does so, all the bits and shards of bone begin to jumble together, forming a large mass of skulls and bones that kind of rears up high above you, getting ready, looking almost like a turning, crumbling wave of bone, like the ocean might make. A big tsunami of bone basically casts a large shadow over you all as you come through the tear, and that's where we'll stop this week.
I want to keep playing.
Fuck.
One of my wolves jumps in my arms and hugs me and starts shivering like Scooby-Doo.
Yep.
Aww.
Roll! I can't do a Scooby-Doo, but you guys know what I'm saying.
Yep.
What's the experience required for level 8?
34,000.
34, and you guys are at 24?
26. 700.
So 5,000 experience each.
Oh shit!
Thanks.
Hollow.
You do my math.
So it's 31,700. Is that right?
Yes.
Ryan, will you do my math?
Yeah,
homework
you'll
for
just
me?
you'll just level up when everyone else does, so it's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Just
is that whole?
scream at me whenever they level up, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, as the last one of you, as Garn comes through the portal, basically like Garn jumps through and it kind of like closes around his belly, and you all have to like grab his arms and pull him through the rest of the way, and then the tear closes, and the lush green mossy landscape of the old Omu that you just left behind disappears.
Okay, I want to go back.
Can we go back?
I would just like to say that the first thing I'm going to do on this fucking plane is going to fly directly after that motherfucker who opened the fucking portal. Because I'm pretty sure he can open it again and get us back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need that axe. It's gonna be
sure.
our only way home.
Yeah, I'm full on double dashing towards that fucker until
But
I...
you have a barrier of bone ahead of you right now.
It just like regrew.
They all kind of came together, yeah, and formed into this big mass, writhing mass of bone.
Yeah, the problem is you've still got like 4 spellcasters that can now. It's still got some boom left in them.
Sure.
And some people flying too.
Yeah.
I'm
I guess.
flying. I'm like
What's
20
really
feet up
funny
in
is
the air.
he's got to run toward that place, and a 40-foot by 40-foot circular area is going to cover that whole section up there. His feet are going to hurt.
Yep.
And he's raging, so it really doesn't matter. I don't care. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day.
Shit.
Yeah.
Good day to you as well.
Nice,
Yeah, so cool.
nice session, guys.
Yes.
I totally forgot to I was gonna totally have the King of Feathers come into that battle behind you guys, but I forgot about it. So.
Thank God he
Thank
didn't.
God.
How funny would it be if he made it through the? What if he would have made it through the portal?
The King of Feathers? Yeah.
Yeah. King of Feathers is chilling out in the shadow play,
For sure.
Shadowfell or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well then, we'll catch you next week for more Tomb of Annihilation. See
See ya.
if you can survive the Shadowfell.